Hey everybody, Sherry here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a wristlet clutch. The pattern is by Sewgnar. I will put a link to the pattern in the description down below if you're interested. Nicole did a very good job creating a very simplet wristlet clutch, and she even added little accent pieces that you could put on the bottom. I've seen a lot of people do it with 2 different colors of cork, 2 different colors of vinyl. Today I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to do mine a little different. And I'm actually going to be doing some applique. So I've used my scan and cut, my brother's scan and cut, and I created this cute little face here that I'm going to position down here in the corner. And I also did 2 little circles so you can kind of see where this is going. Okay, so I have my 2 main pieces. I have my 2 back applique pieces, my front applique piece. I'm also going to cut out the same size lining. I'll be using some white waterproof canvas. I need a zipper, and I need a 1/2 inch swivel hook. I'm just using an inexpensive one. This is just a cutesy little bag. And my zipper pull. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the strap. I've got double-sided tape on either edge, and I am going to fold this into thirds. Actually, I'm going to pull both sides off and get myself started. That'll help me continue the rest of the way down. So I'm just kind of eyeballing my thirds here. I do have a center line, and I'm going just over the center line. Okay. And now we will sew 1/8 of an inch away from either edge. I'm using the my inner foot. I'm using the right side as my guide. And I'm going to hold on to those threads. Okay, and I'm going to come over this end. I'm going to trim that off nice and even. And then we will just put our clasps through there and pop in a rivet. So next what we're going to do is decide where we want our applique. Again, I'm not sure which machine I'm going to use. I feel like I have better control with the domestic, like I said earlier. Anyway, I'm going to put some double-sided tape . Okay, and then I'm just going to press that down, and I'm going to let this dry. And then I'm going to decide which machine I'm going to use. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to use my domestic to do the actual applique. And if you're wondering, I have the same thread on my domestic that I use on my industrial. It's a Tech 70 bonded nylon. Yes, you can use it on the domestic. I have the Juki TL 2010. I just tightened up my upper tension a little. I also decreased my foot pressure, and I've put on a Teflon foot. I did not change the tension on my bobbin case at all. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to start, I'm actually lining up the outer edge of my applique with the inner edge of the right toe, the right toe of the foot. And that's going to put that needle right almost close, right at the edge. Have my stitch length set maybe about a 3.2, and I'm just going to take it really slow, and if I need to turn, I will lift the foot and adjust. Oh, and I forgot to say too, I have a 90-14 top stitching needle. This works for me. I know others have recommended like a Microtex or a jeans needle. I don't have a problem with the top stitching needles. The hole's big enough to accommodate the thread, and that's all I'm worried about. So again, I'm going really slow. So I'm coming around to where I started. Before I go any further, I'm going to lift my foot. I'm going to pull on this back thread. I'm going to pull that front loop through. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that top thread down to the underneath. If I can get my point of my scissors through it. There we go. So I've pulled that top thread down. I'm going to move it to the side out of the way. Essentially what I want to do is now I'm going to walk it, and then I want the last stitch to end exactly in the hole of that first stitch. And if I have to lift my thread, my foot, and adjust it a little bit, then that's what I'll do. So I'm going to take that last stitch right there in that first hole, pull it out, and this is what we have. So I'm going to come back around, take that last stitch, pull out that loop, and pull this to the back. And there we have a almost perfect applique. So we're going to do the same thing to the other one. Not going to talk through this. I'm just going to go. Okay, and now we're going to walk that last one there we go. Now we have both. Pull that loop, and then we'll secure those off. There you go. Okay. So before I start doing this one, oh, that's really close. Back out just a tad. Before I start doing this one, I'm going to go ahead and trim off these edges here and over here. So see here, I've trimmed him off, and since straight lines are easiest, I'm going to start, and I'm just going to kind of baste him on. If I start down here, then the start and stop will be in my seam, and I don't have that much to worry about as far as lining it up after I go all the way through. Okay, I'm going to stop, turn. Okay, so I finished all of his inside portions, and I have brought all the threads to the back. I'm not sure if you can see that, maybe you can here. And I just burn them. I tied them in a knot and then hit them with a lighter. So our applique is now complete, and we can put our wristlet together. Alrighty, so now we're going to work on our zipper. I'm going to take my zipper, place it face down on my front piece. Get some clips. Going to line that up and clip it all the way down. I'm going to take one of my lining pieces and I'm going to place it face down, lining it up with the top. You could baste your zipper on first if you're not comfortable doing this all at once. Make sure all three pieces are lined up. Okay. And then we're going to use about a 1/4 inch seam allowance and sew all the way down. Back stitching at the beginning. I'm using the edge of my outer foot here as my 1/4 inch guide. Down to the end, back stitch. Trim our threads. Then we're going to push the zipper over to the side. We want this seam down like so. We're going to keep our lining over to the opposite side. We don't want to stitch through our lining. And get that under my foot. We use about 1/8 of an inch. I'm using the edge of my inner foot this time. I think I'm going to increase my stitch length to about a 5 for the top stitching. Really no need to excuse me, back stitch when you're top stitching, because you're going to catch that in the next seam. Now the waterproof canvas is a little stiff. You could steam it from the back side with your iron if that bothers you. I'm just going to finger press that down in place. Change my stitch length back down to a 4.5. Now I'm going to take my back piece and I'm going to line it up, the edge of my zipper and the edge of my front piece. Clip that in place all the way across the top. Then we will take our second lining piece, and you want to place it right sides to right sides, lining it up as well. very, very easy pattern to make. Nicole did a good job. She actually has you cut the lining a wee tad shorter than the exterior, and that helps keep you from having a saggy lining. Okay, so again, okay, same thing, 1/4 inch. Back stitch. Up my stitch to about a 5, and we're going to fold all of our lining pieces, well, to the other side, and make sure that we're folding this right over the seam, and that's where we're going to top stitch. Trim those threads. You take my stitch length back down. Okay. Now all that's left to do is to attach our strap. Over, you want your strap over to the side where you're gonna open and close your zipper. And I'm actually gonna put my nameplate on here. Maybe I won't put this one upside down or on the wrong side. So I'm gonna find my center. And I'm working here without a light because it turns everything yellow in the camera. If I get my head in the way, I apologize. So, get my little pen refill. My actual pen is downstairs. And I'm going to put a mark here and a mark here. Take my seam ripper, making sure I'm not going through my lining. And poke through and poke through. Make sure I'm right side up. Make sure I'm straight before I close it. Then the prongs back. You could put some tape on there if you feel like you're gonna, feel that through the lining. Put some duct tape on it. that would work. And then I'm just going to place my handle right about there, and I'm just going to baste it on with about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Back stitch and back stitch, and then it will get secured even more when we stitch the bag closed. Okay, we got our strap on, so next we are going to put on our zipper pull. Okay, that was better. Okay, so I'm going to put that in like so. I am going to leave it open, make sure this is out of the way. And we are going to put our 2 exterior pieces together. Grab my scissors. I'm going to trim up these corners. Just help it look a little nicer when you turn it. Especially here where I got that extra bit of vinyl from the applique. Trim up some of these sides. Cut off the excess zipper. And I'm going to reach inside, open up, and I'm going to push in on that corner, and then I'm going to start pulling everything through. Push. I can take that off now. Okay, I'm going to get down here in this corner. I'm going to grab my point turner. And I'm just just going to try to push that out just a little bit more. It's kind of thick down here. Don't want to push too hard and actually poke a hole through the vinyl. So I'm trying to poke at the excess that's in that corner. Okay, I don't want to poke too hard. Okay, and then come here. I think my zipper rolled on me. We'll just have to see how that works out. Push that in and try it out. Nope. Looks pretty good considering. Okay. And then all we need to do is put our hardware on. So I'm going to put on my little lobster clasp. I'm going to fold it over. And then from the right side, I'm going to punch down here in the center. Pull this off. Get out the extra bits. Okay. Put in my rivet. Take it to my press. I'll be right back. Okay. So we have that riveted on. We can clip it to our zipper. One last thing to do. We do need to close up our lining where we left the hole. And because I used a white lining, I've already got thread on my domestic from when we did the applique. So I'm just going to fold these in. Just want to turn it in about 1/4 of an inch. Gonna clip, clip, and clip again. I'll be right back. I'm going to go sew it on the other machine, but I'm not going to move the camera. Okay, so I've sewn at the bottom, and I'm going to trim my threads. I just stitched right here, right on the very edge, back stitching at the beginning and end, and now we can push our lining back in. And just poking those corners back in. So kind of hold them and try to separate the fabric a little bit and press those back towards the inside. Then we can get them to go in there and lay down nicely. Okay. there you have it. Cute, cute, cute. Cute little wristlet. Again, I'll leave the link to Nicole's pattern down below. Thank you for spending your day with me. I'm sorry my videos are so long. I'm slow, but I do appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.